Good evening, women of the portal. Whew. Hi, I am Carla Sanders, the Cosmic Crone, and I am coming to you from Maine, my studio in Maine. And it is about 50 minutes before sunset. So as we honor this dark time with this dark meditation, dropping into our inner darkness where all light exists, the sky will grow dark behind us, around us. And so some of you are finding me now. I took a minute to get all the legs on my tripod standing upright. So Kala Joy, good to see you. Daya Devi, Lisa Diane, so good to see you. And I'm getting my Solstice fire ready, which will be a solo fire this year. Between the big storm that hit Maine and the storms that are hitting everyone's life that I know, not to mention the planet as a whole, it just didn't work out for people to get together at my house the way we often do. So I am harvesting wood that blew down in the big storm and proceeded to get my little chainsaw stuck. So if I smell like balsam fir sap, that's why. I have been hugging balsam fir trees. So I'm really glad those of you who are here live can join me, and those of you who will be joining me later by recording. I was inspired to do this by that post that I shared, the picture, which reminded me, it like took me instantly into the genuine energy of solstice and this time of year. Between solstice and the cross quarter, Imbolc, it means the in the womb. It's when the ewes are in the womb, and that is February 1st, Bridget's Day, Groundhog Day here in the US. So this 6 weeks in between, we are literally in the womb. The light has gone, and tonight at 10:27, the sun stands still, and technically the light returns, but we don't really start to perceive it until mid-January. And we really feel it magically around February 1st or 2nd. So this is from Samhain to Bridget's Day. That is our womb time. So we are in the center of the womb. And the sun is just completing its journey through Sagittarius. And in Sagittarius, it touched the Great Attractor, which is a mysterious, dark feminine space somewhere out beyond our galaxy. Astronomers can measure its effects, but they don't know what it is. And one astronomer, not astrologer, a scientist, when asked, what do you think the Great Attractor is? He sort of scratched his head and said, well, you know, it could be God. So we have in our universe things that remind us of our smallness, and at the same time remind us of our connection to the vastness. Because we can measure that. We have been given brains that allow us to measure distances, to interpret what we can see through telescopes of all spectra. And also this chart that can interpret the mythology and magic and symbology of astrology, which was the original astronomy before we had instruments that made us think astronomy is baloney. We had naked eye observations and relationships and intuitive knowing. So astrologers were scientists and mathematicians of their day, observers, but they were also mythologists, and they made up stories that had meaning, and we are still able to receive that meaning. I speak of astrology as voices through which the ancestors speak. And since each one of us is at the center of our own wheel, it's our ancestors who are speaking to us. And today, for this conversation, they are speaking to us from the collective. So the great attractor, early in Sagittarius, and then just in the last few days, early this week, the day of the big storm, the sun crossed over the galactic center, and this is a black hole in the center of our galaxy. And I'm not going to go into the science or the speculations or the theories about that because I don't really understand them. I'm not up on that. But I do know the concept of the black hole means that it is a relentless gravitational pull. And it draws all things into itself. And that includes us. In the energetic realm, that black hole is working on each of us because we are each micro-universes, fruiting bodies in this extraordinary web of life that is earth-centered through the mycelium and all living things, and it's also cosmic. We are equally connected to that web. And the solstice, for us in the north, this is winter solstice. People who may be listening in the southern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice. It's the polar opposite energy. It is the time of great light. But guess what? They always exist at the same time. So while we are celebrating the darkness and dropping within and using this time to go into the womb, into the earth, into the silence, at the very same time, the light is burgeoning and things are growing, and it is the living, emerging season. And for them, in June, they're going dark, and we are celebrating the light. So we're not alone in this. I don't know that our ancestors in the north who first observed the movements of the sun and the sun standing still and created the stones that marked this passage, I don't know if they knew that the opposite was happening beneath their feet on the other side of the earth. What they knew is that the sun symbolically disappeared. The day grew shorter and shorter and shorter, the nights longer, the temperatures colder in most parts of the world. And then the light came back. And of course, entire mythologies, from Osiris to Inanna to Yeshua, the Christ, the birth of the Christ child, and the death and the resurrection, all of these things follow this pattern. And 3 days is magical. It's in our DNA that we have observed that the apparent stillness of the sun at the extremes of the solstices lasts about 3 days. And similarly, when planets station retrograde, their stillness seems to last about 3 days. Certainly the personal planets that are in closer to the sun. So this energy began to arouse in me yesterday, and it will continue through tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I'm joining people in my community for a cacao ceremony and dance. So for me personally, that will be emerging into the light to have this social ritual and experience. So what I wanted to invite you to do today is drop into the darkness and to give you a practice. If you're not familiar with womb centering, this may be your first experience. If you've done it, it's a beautiful reminder. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to guide you into your womb space to connect. And my sense as I'm speaking is that I invite you into the magic of your personal divine feminine power. In the chart, the rising planet is Juno. Juno is the goddess, the queen of the gods of Olympus. And she stands for so many things: the sacred union of masculine and feminine, the sacred marriage. She stands for a woman's initiation journey. She stands for descent into darkness and return into the truth of who we are. This is a journey that we make many times throughout our lives. And she also stands for social justice, what's good for women and children. Making sure that mothers have what they need so that children have what they need. And that is actually a major role of the sacred masculine, literally, to go out and hunt, to bring home the meat from which shelter and tools and food comes. And our society has forgotten that that is the foundation of society and life on earth. And the way that this happens is in an intimate partnership with earth. So at this moment, in the dying, dangerous gasp of patriarchy, in a world order that puts women and children and the earth and nature last, that wants to extract everything it can from all of us, that wants to control, and that wants to bomb into oblivion and continue this dangerous, lethal pattern of conquest in multiple places across the globe, whether it's the inner cities of or the slums of some place in South America where people live in garbage dumps, or Gaza, or Ukraine, or communities in Africa, places we don't know about. We don't know what people are doing, but people in power are abusing the people without power everywhere. And so we are sending out this meditation as a healing vibration, as a wave of love, a wave of shifting the energy. And I can feel eyes rolling. There is somebody on my shoulder who's saying, you're going to meditate? What good does that do? People who are being bombed out of their homes and starving. Well, I work with the Circle of Women, and we are aware that the most powerful thing we can do is magic. And I have been in the presence of Indigenous elders and teachers who say to us, get right inside yourself. Heal your own trauma. Understand what is working inside of you before you rush off and try to fix things. So I invite you to keep that. Just let that settle. As we open with our breath, bring that in. Because the other thing that we are doing, and if you're listening to me, you know that this is true. We are connected to a power much greater than ourselves that is beyond what these two hands can do. And we receive our instructions from that power by connecting in with our body, our emotions, our intuition, our inner knowing, and by tapping into the great web of life. And we have to take these moments of stillness, sitting in the darkness, and pause, or we won't be able to hear the instructions. And for each of us, those instructions are unique to our gifts and talents. And most of them will be enacted locally. And thanks to the internet and media like this Facebook, social media, we can expand our reach by sharing. But it all starts inside. So let us go and meet the darkness and see what she has to say. So I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit without hopefully crashing. Yeah, you can kind of see my hands are in a triangle on my belly. This automatically activates the womb when you place that sigil on your belly. And activate the energy of the bowl of your pelvis and the light in the center of your womb by receiving 3 breaths. And you receive breath by letting everything relax, shoulders, jaw, pelvic floor, belly. And as everything softens, the breath comes in. The breath is your inner lover. So soften and welcome the breath in, and then give a little squeeze and allow the breath to release and carry out anything that has been metabolized. And open again. Oh, and to make a sound that helps to loosen things in your body that want to release. Ooh. And then one more time. And notice how alive you feel. Continue this receiving breath at your own pace. It's a little difficult for me to maintain it while I'm talking, but you can just relax into it and tune in to how alive your pelvis feels, your womb, your ovaries. your vulva, your sacrum behind you, and feel the energy rise up through your body. And as you breathe into that energy and feel it growing and stirring, become aware of the light in the center of your womb. This is your sacred flame on the altar of your womb. This is your holy temple. And with every breath, that light becomes brighter, stronger, more beautiful. It twinkles and rotates, and you can feel the energy of that light rising. You might feel it up your spine or up your center. You might feel it begin to vibrate through your hands, your soles of your feet. And gently breathe and let your body attune to this light that is filling it, that is sourced in your womb, or so it appears. This light is sourced from the cosmic womb. This is your life force that comes through the Great Mother of the cosmos. In a world of patterns, you are patterned after her. Your womb space is a representation of her womb space, herself. And that energy is titrated. It's put through, we might call it a transistor or some kind of rheostat so that our bodies can tolerate it. But the more you practice your spiritual practice, womb centering, breathing, pleasure, the more of this energy you can hold in your body and in your energy field. And the more you have available to create. So this energy is sourced from the cosmos, and it is fed from the earth. Become aware of the red light in the center of this light. And as you reach that awareness, you may be aware of how that red light is threading all through your energy system and how it's touching different organs in your body. Notice that it is being fed from a spiraling umbilical cord of red light down in the center of the earth, plugged in. And as you breathe, you can give your pelvic floor a little squeezes, little sips, and sip this light up into nourishing this brighter light from the cosmos. You are the still point, the fulcrum between earth and heaven. Now, draw in a big breath to expand your body and blow it out and feel this light expand out to the edges of your aura. So you are sitting in an egg of light. And in this egg of light, you are completely protected. And gather a ball of white light in your womb space and let it spiral up to your heart, making the womb-heart connection. And your shoulders may drop and your breastbone may lift. And you may feel that light rise to your throat, and you may chant a sound. Na. Ooh. Whatever sound comes forth. Feel the stillness. And now it is time to imagine yourself sitting on the throne of your heart and spiraling down into your womb space, into the darkness. And that original sacred fire is still lit on the altar in your womb. And if you are so called, you may walk over to it and offer it some food, oil or a stick or whatever the fuel is, maybe even breath. And feel it heat up inside your womb. Your womb is inside of you, inside your womb now. And in this place, you can tune in to the vastness and the dark. And you may spy a place to sit, a cozy place that is even darker in the shadows, where you can curl up and feel yourself carried in the center. And here you will listen. Notice what you perceive in this space. You may not be alone. There may be guides with you. You may perceive the red glow of the earth light that is feeding you. You may sense the opening to the vastness of the cosmos somewhere behind you. And here you can offer up your prayers, your magical spells, prayers and spells that create the world you want to live in. And images and sounds and desires will come up. And it may be a personal need and desire of yours around your life, your ability to have what you need in this life. It may be around guidance or peace in relationships, or decisions, or navigating change. It may be around material needs or health. And then your thoughts and desires may extend outward to the next circle, your family, children, parents, siblings, the young ones, the old ones, the sick or the well. And then outward to your friends and their needs, and to your community, the needs and conflicts and pains. The people that you love, or the groups of people that may be disenfranchised or suffering. And then you may think of the world that you live in, the country, the governments. You may see evidence of injustice at every step of the way. Your powers of empathy are incredibly strong, and your heart goes out. You allow your heart, without attaching or needing to take any of it on, you allow your heart to send out this love, this understanding, this desire for peace, for plenty, for enough, for a world that makes sense, that cares about life. And how you feel about these various things might not completely line up with how I feel. And that doesn't matter. Because essentially, regardless of rhetoric, we all want the same thing. And so let us feel that energetic connection that is so much bigger than our individual selves, our ideologies, the words, the stories. Feel ourselves connected to the great womb, the great web, the holy divine sacredness. Feel how much your love matters. And feel how much you are loved. And allow that in. Simple 1, 2, and 3 word spells. Peace on earth. Enough for everyone. All is well. I am well. I am enough. I am loved. You are loved. I love you. These are all spells and prayers. And here in this darkness, we are free to tap into that power. And you can create an intention to receive downloads. There may be actions that you can take, something you can create that will have a ripple effect and help empower these spells that you are breathing in this womb space. And so you can receive your instructions. And chances are, the conscious awareness of those instructions won't come until you return to the light. So let us prepare to return into our full-size bodies and into ordinary reality. Anyone who joined you in this womb space, thank them. Whisper any closing words. Go to your altar and honor the fire within you. And when you're ready, receive the breaths that will bring you back up into your full body, where your heart is your heart and your womb is your womb and your hands are your hands. And you are sitting in your egg of light. And then with 3 breaths, draw in the egg of light. Return this light into your womb space. Slowly, stage at a time. With each breath, the light compresses, concentrates until it's back in your womb. And you can breathe into that space and feel that energy, feel the aliveness, feel the connection. Feel the fire inside. Feel that connection to the earth through that red umbilical cord, which is always there. And you can stay here for as long as you want, enjoying the glow. If you start receiving your instructions, you might want to have a journal and pen on hand. Drink extra water. And when you're ready, draw a spiral over your belly to seal that light into your womb. This is your sacred well of energy, and you give from the overflow. And when you're ready, give yourself a hug. Let your eyes flutter open and come back into the room. Oh, thank you for joining me in that sacred space. I felt it so strongly. I felt all of you, even those of you who were not with me in the same space-time. You're watching this later. Our energy does not know space or time. So I wish you a blessed solstice. Any ritual or ceremony you might be doing, may it reverberate with this beautiful energy, and may you, thank you, Lisa, may you receive 1,000-fold back what you give out. And I hope to see you again soon. Blessed solstice.